So this is my fourth presentation in skills development for Adobe, and this is my audit form. So last week I looked into Photoshop and the importance of it, as well as a couple of effects, so the fire and frost effect, as well as how to create them using YouTube tutorials. And this week I'll be focusing on GIFs in Photoshop. I want to gain a better understanding of the different types. I want to understand how to create them from scratch. I'm currently a 0 out of 10. I want to be able to create more than one type of GIF. I want to understand how to overcome challenges along the way, and I want to feel confident in what I'm doing for my grad project. So for my 20 hours, I spent 6 hours on online readings and websites, 5 hours for YouTube tutorials, 6 hours for editing clips, research into practice, and 3 hours applying learning to grad project planning. Reflecting on my feedback from last week, so there were 4 really good points which I'll bear in mind for future presentations. However, there were a couple points I needed to change, so I need to add inline references as I only reference them in the bibliography. And despite my excellent practical work last week, I have to have more independent creativity to help concretise my learning instead of just copying directly off the YouTube videos. So what is a GIF? A GIF is a type of computer file that contains a still or moving image. GIF is the abbreviation for graphic interchange format. A GIF may contain more than one frame, so it can be animated. Animated GIFs are actually fairly easy to create. My research. So I looked at these websites and pulled these quotes from these websites. So GIFs are universal. They portray different emotions or reactions, which defeats language barriers. Anyone can relate to it, so you can save time looking for the right word to express your thoughts, which I completely agree with, as I sometimes use them for this exact purpose. Another quote that I pulled out was, animated GIFs are significantly more engaging than other kinds of media. This could be because they're more fun than sending a static image or text. And the last one is, Giphy has 150 million unique monthly visitors, and currently 80% of the GIFs are branded, including deals with various companies and shows such as the Oscars. So it shows that they're also extremely important for brands and that they're a good marketing strategy as well. I also found a website that explained how many times GIFs have been used on certain social media platforms. So on Tumblr, an average of 23 million GIFs posted every day. Facebook Messenger, roughly 5 million GIFs sent between users every day. Slack, more than 2 million GIFs sent between users each month. And Twitter, more than 100 million GIFs shared in 2015. And this website was written in 2016, so it'll probably be ever increasing to this day. Here are 2 online books/news documents that I also read, focusing on the more practical side of how to create GIFs. So the one on the left was written in 2007, so incredibly outdated. And although it talks about Photoshop, as you can see from the diagrams relating to this book, this Photoshop version looks almost unrecognisable. It's also extremely text heavy, and I've realised that I'm much more of a practical learner. Also, the book on the right did go into how to make a GIF, but on your phone, which wasn't very helpful. So what I realised is that YouTube tutorials are a much better and easier way for understanding. I also looked at this YouTube video, so it taught me the different types of GIFs, which are still image GIFs, which is basically GIFs made from multiple images, video GIFs, which is a GIF made from a single video, a loop GIF, which is similar to a video GIF but gives the viewer the impression that they're waiting for something different to happen, a boomerang, which usually display with a type of motion, so cheers and glasses, and a cinematograph, which is a professional photograph or landscape, so for example a highway with the lights moving, or a still mountain with clouds moving beneath it, for example. And despite the video only having 5,500 views, it was extremely helpful for me for understanding the different types of GIFs and what they are. It also taught me not to not watch a video because of the views, because perhaps the video has been undiscovered by many, or it's an extremely niche area. So here are a couple more videos that I watched, but more specifically I looked at tutorials for animated GIF using images and animated GIF for using video, as these 2 stood out to me as being the most important from the last video. Combined, they taught me how there were more than one type of GIF, so e.g. GIF animation from images and GIF animation from videos, how to upload multiple images into a stack, how to show your timeline below your images, then create video timeline, how to loop the video forever rather than just once, and also have the time between each frame change, how to save for web, so file, export, save for web to make your GIF compatible to the web. And the overall quality of these videos was extremely good with clear, live, step-by-step instructions. So the video on the left had over 700,000 views and the one on the right had over 100,000 views, so it shows that they've both been watched by many. The pre-experimentation stage. So on the left are the images that I took for the animated GIF from images, and on the right is the video that I took for the animated GIF from video. And here's my editing process. As you can see from the previous slide with my editing stage, you weren't able to see the finished product, and this is because I came across 2 different challenges along the way. So firstly, the scratch disk notification came up similar to last week. However, I used my existing knowledge of cleaning my storage space to overcome this. However, the simple clearing approach didn't work, so I had to revert to my external drive and then was then able to save it. And secondly, when it came to actually inserting my finished GIF into the web, it was way too large, so it would take ages to load and jolt quite a lot. And this is because it was taken on my Canon, so I reduced the original size as shown and repeated the editing process again, and this was my final outcome. And moving on to my GIF from videos, here's my editing process. It was a lot more simple than the image GIF, and what I learned is that I didn't have as many steps. I think this is down to not using frames as much. And here's my finished product, along with a few other reaction GIFs that I decided to create. However, the fourth one was actually a loop GIF, but this didn't work very well because I did it freehand, and in order for it to be successful, I have to use a tripod. So looking back at my objectives, I've successfully completed them all, which I'm really happy about. So from researching more into GIFs and the importance of them, it will now help me in the development of my grad project. So for example, I will now be able to apply my knowledge and what I've learned about GIFs to my work. And also if I'm wanting to create one for my client, I'm now able to do so in a fast and effective manner. And here are some of my last final thoughts. And next week I'll be focusing on more complex GIFs. And here are my references. Thank you for listening.